This morning, the question for Democrats after Robert Mueller's testimony is what now? Joining us now is Democratic Congresswoman Karen Bass. She serves on the Judiciary Committee, and she questioned Robert Mueller yesterday. Congresswoman, great to have you here in studio with us.
Thank you.
Let me play the moment that you got to question Robert Mueller yesterday for everyone who may have missed it.
But your investigation actually found substantial evidence that McGahn was ordered by the president to fire you, correct?
Yes.
Did the president's personal lawyer do something the following day in response to that news report?
I'd refer you to the coverage of this in the report.
So the president told McGahn directly to deny that the president told him to have you fired. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
I can't beyond what's in the report.
Were those satisfying answers to you?
Well, I would have loved to have heard him provide more context, but, we were prepared that he was going to stick to the report. But even sticking to the report, we felt was powerful for him to confirm things that were in the report.
I mean, what you were trying to get at was the obstruction of justice piece,
right.
The Don McGahn piece that people say is central to the obstruction of justice. If you're telling your White House counsel to lie, if you're changing documents, if you're providing a cover story, all of those things, that is the definition of obstruction of justice.
Exactly, to lie and then to cover it up. And so to have him confirm that that's what was in the report, because remember, when the AG came out, when Barr came out and said the report completely exonerates the president, there's no collusion, he really tainted public opinion in that respect. And there are a lot of people, I've run into people who didn't understand why they would even bother reading the report. And so to us, to be able to have him verify things that were in the report was significant in and of itself.
Well, I mean, you've heard some of the reviews of what happened with Robert Mueller yesterday. He was circumspect to the point some people felt of being ineffective. You heard it. He kept saying, I refer you to the report, instead of saying yes. He could have just answered you with a yes or no.
Right.
And so do you think that yesterday changed anything?
Well, I do think that it changed things, and we'll see in the coming days. I mean, I think that it was illustrated for the American public. He said he was not exonerated. He said that he could not say that he didn't obstruct justice. We know that he's limited by the OIC report. We know that, and he said that. Now, when Representative Lieu was questioning him, he pretty much said that because of that, that was why he didn't say there was obstruction of justice. Now, we know a couple hours later, he pulled that back, but why did he pull that back? I think he told Representative Lieu what was actually.
And why did he pull it back?
Well, maybe he pulled it back because he's trying to stick to what came out of the White House. But I think he was pretty clear the first time.
Look, as we know, the Democrats in the House have been debating now for years whether or not to move forward with impeachment and impeachment.
Actually, not for years.
Well, I mean, it feels like there has been impeachment talk almost since the president.
January 2017.
Okay, January 2017. And so, did yesterday change anything in terms of that talk or the momentum?
Well, we'll see. But reality is that, yes, there was talk the moment of the inauguration. But what is true is Democrats have only been in power for 7 months. And 2 of those months were really dead. There was the shutdown the first month. The Republicans were very late in making committee assignments. So we really didn't even hit our stride until March. So you're only talking about a few months.
Okay, so where are you with impeachment?
Well, I mean, I think we have a lot further to go. We are going to go to court to enforce the subpoena over McGahn. I think there's several other witnesses. There's all of the committees that are involved in various aspects of oversight and investigation. We went 2 years with no oversight, no investigation of this administration. So I think we have a ways to go.
So you're staying the course. You're going to go to court, and then you'll all decide what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm staying the course. There's many of my colleagues, especially on the Judiciary Committee, that feel we need to begin the inquiry now. But I think that we need to take it a few steps further.
I want to talk to you about what's happening on the Judiciary Committee today. There's
other work we do.
Yeah, the work that you do that is, equally important.
Absolutely,
certainly with what's happening with family separations at the border. So today, you're trying to get answers because the administration says that family separations have stopped.
They have not stopped. So what the administration is saying is that they have stopped because they have stopped, in most cases, taking kids away from their parents. But when is a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, or a sibling not a family? So there are cases of grandparents who have come to the border with infants, with toddlers. They separate those children and then call them unaccompanied minors. Tell me how a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old could be an unaccompanied minor. So they have just redefined family. The other thing is that they have determined that some parents are not eligible to stay with their children.
Who?
Based
The
on
criminals?
what? Well, somebody with a criminal conviction. But you know, if you think about that, we have a child welfare system in this country. They make a determination whether or not a parent is an abuser or is neglectful of their child. That social workers are involved, a court is involved. Since when is a Border Patrol agent responsible for that? So we have a humanitarian crisis at the border that is being dealt with like a law enforcement problem.
And to your point, some of the people who are being called criminals, they have perhaps a DWI in their past. Since when in this country do you separate a child from that parent?
Never. You never do that. And then also, there are the children that were separated in the beginning. We don't even know how many children they are that are still separated.
So Congress does not know at this moment how many children are still separated from their
No, and I mean, frankly, I don't believe what comes out of the administration because we know they didn't track those children to begin with. But let me just ask you this. The children that they do know that are separated, where are they now? What is going to happen to them next year? Will they be put in our foster care system that's already inundated because of the opioid crisis? It is a completely inappropriate way to deal with the situation, and I frankly believe it's state-sponsored child abuse. The idea that you would have babies who are supervised by an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, if a parent did what is going on at the border, they would be arrested for abuse and neglect.
Well, we hope you get answers today. Obviously, we'll be following.
We're not going to stop.
Congresswoman Karen Bass, thanks so much for coming in with your insight into all of this.
Thanks for having me on.
John.